trigger president that is 5'10", 285 pounds, the biggest cankles you've ever seen, orange face, convicted felon, is for a person of color or a woman to spit facts about him. And Charlemagne the God did this straight into the belly of the beast on Lara Trump's Fox News show. We know that Trump doesn't govern. We know he sits around in free bases and injects and snorts right-wing propaganda because he's so incredibly insecure. He has to hear superficial praise and propaganda heaped upon him to prevent him from further spiraling into the depths of hell. So Charlemagne goes on Lara's Trump and spits all this. Play the clip.
We're 6 months into President Trump's second term in office. Now, I know you've been critical. You've had your bones to pick with President Trump. If you took his name out of it and looked solely at what has happened, the policies and the things that have changed around the world and in our country over the first 6 months, how do you rate his presidency so far?
I wouldn't give it a good rating,
Why not?
Simply because, the least of us are still being impacted the worst. Like when you look at something like, the big, beautiful bill, that's something that, I'm going to benefit from because of the tax bracket that I'm in. But, there's going to be so many people that's hurt by that bill. And, anything that, takes away Medicaid from people and is going to put people in a worse financial situation than, they were previously in, I'm not for. And, he ran on that. Like he ran on, the economy. He ran on saying that, grocery prices were going to be down, and
that has happened.
No.
Inflation is trending down, and by the way, Medicaid.
No, I think that traditional conservatives are going to take the Republican Party back. I think there's a political coup going on right now in the Republican Party that people aren't paying attention to.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that this Epstein thing is going to be a way for traditional conservatives to take their party back. I really do. I think that they know this is the issue that has gotten the base riled up. The MAGA base isn't letting this issue go, and for the first time, they know they can, probably take their party back and not piss off the MAGA base.
Incredible. He goes into the belly of the beast. He talks about how Trump has delivered on 0 of his promises. He called out Lara Trump for lying and saying that prices have come down. She sat there and tried to continue to propagandize. Trump is so triggered by this. Number one, because everything Charlemagne the God said is true and factual. But number two, because he is a black man. And we know historically Trump's decade-long history with racism and racist dog whistles. Look no further than the Obama birth certificate debacle. But at 2 a.m., the sitting president of the United States of America got on his Lie Social, because I want to remind everybody, he got kicked off all the other social media platforms. A grown-ass man got banned from all the other social media platforms, so he had to make his own. Now, of course, all the oligarchs have bent the knee to him, and he's back on, unfortunately. All right, let's hear what he says here. The very wonderful and talented Lara Trump, whose show is a big rating success, put racist sleazebag Charlemagne the God. Why is he allowed to use the word God when describing himself? Can anyone imagine the uproar there would be if I used that nickname? He's a low IQ individual, has no idea what words are coming out of his mouth, and knows nothing about me or what I have done, just like ending 5 wars, including a 31-year bloodbath between Republic of Congo and Rwanda, where 7 million people have died, and there was no end in sight. He didn't know that, or India or Pakistan, or wiping out Iran's nuclear capabilities, or closing the horrendous open borders capitalized, or creating the greatest economy where prices and inflation have come way down, and where stupid and corrupt Joe Biden set the record for doing the worst job as president ever. But this dope, Charlemagne, would vote for Sleepy Joe or Kamala. Remember, 1 year ago, our country was dead. Now it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. Okay, this is so incredibly unhinged, but I am so sick of white MAGA people calling Black people racist.
Yes, I agree 100%. It's absolutely stunning that the president of the United States would say that. And what I don't understand is these people that are watching Fox News and reading his Truth Social are like, oh, yeah, the economy's back, America's back, completely ignoring all of the economic factors, all the numbers. And for Charlemagne the God to go on there is extremely brave. He did a very good job, but every single person watching that has the same proclivity to racism that Donald Trump does. So they're just going to discount, oh, well, he is the best president of all time. Oh, economic numbers are, inflation is trending down. And it's like, you're never going to reach those people. And I hope that he is correct about MAGA. I would love for the normal, crazy, mean, and cruel conservatives to come back in lieu of the MAGA crazy. But the president of the United States, everything he said in his post was a lie, and he capitalized 7 and million, and it's 2:00 in the morning. It's just gross.
And I think it's going to be interesting to see. You're starting to see fracturing in the MAGA movement. Joe Rogan has spoken out every bit as much as Charlemagne the God did. He didn't get that type of 2 a.m. unhinged rant. Flagrant podcast, they've spoken out against Trump, white guys. They haven't received this. So are people within the podcasting industry, Joe Rogan, Schultz, I forget the flagrant guy, are they going to defend Charlemagne the God? Are they going to say, stop it, it's a First Amendment issue? Because you're starting to see some fracturing. You're starting to see them have buyer's remorse. And of course, it's nauseating for all of us to watch. But when you're trying to save the country that's on the precipice, probably knee deep into fascism, any voice that you can get that's critical of this lame duck, 5'10" 285-pound, swollen McCankle's taco tits, any voice you can get to start more further cannibalizing of the base is so important. And we can't have a purity test for each of them. If people start bashing him in that base, that we've got to just let them do it. Which brings me to, all of these MAGA men want to talk about alpha, beta, and all this shit all the time. And I always see them just whining, complaining, it's grievances, just Trump's the lie social we just read. It's the weakest. I mean, whining. If a woman did a tweet like that, was whining like that, they would lose their minds. But Trump acts like a junior high school girl whose best friend kissed her boyfriend in every post that he has. But this guy, he's a comedian, Bill Burr, and he always spits facts, and he comes out on and on and on again. It calls out racist, calls out capitalism. And I thought this was just such a great clip.
Perspectives, there's nothing wrong with being a billionaire, but if somebody is working 40 hours a week, 160 hours a month, and they can't make their rent, you're not paying them enough money. Maybe you should just be worth 900 million.
Yeah.
Like, how does a CEO take a 8-figure bonus and none of your employees have dental insurance? They can't even go out and get a filling. There's these nerd billionaires out there saying, I want my employees to come to work terrified, go to bed terrified, wake up terrified. I mean, you don't think it's that, then they're terrified to go out and spend any money.
This sort of plain spoken calling out of how the wealth gap has just exacerbated and spiraled so much, and how simply he said it. People work 40 hours a week, don't have dental insurance, and can't pay their rent. Yet the CEO of In-N-Out Burger, who's worth $8 billion, has the audacity to make a public statement that she doesn't want to live in California anymore because their government is fighting for working class people to be paid a decent wage above the minimum wage. And then all of these sycophants in the MAGA movement and all these Fox News viewers, they go and cheerlead for a greedy, selfish, nerdy billionaire who exploits workers, exploits the consumer. We all have to go up to the registers and tip, and then triple tip and double tip, because people like her whine and complain because it's so difficult to pay people a decent wage. And he simply points out, you're worth $1 billion. Okay, be worth 900 million. Affects your life. Goose egg. But the Democratic Party has such difficult time messaging this thing so simply, just the way he did it, where it penetrates into the American psyche. Wait a minute. This is nuts. We're fighting for this guy to get 8-9 figure bonus while people can't pay for childcare, can't pay for transportation. It's insane.
It's completely insane. And you look at how the poor have been demonized, start with this trickle down economics. You have people that work 160 hours a week. Like, let's say Walmart, they don't have health insurance. They have to use Medicaid. They can't afford to buy food and pay their rent. So they use SNAP benefits. And now Republicans, instead of increasing the minimum wage, are telling those people, you don't get to have food.
You're lazy.
You don't get to have health care. You're lazy. You need to work harder. While I think the SNAP benefit was less than $3 or $4 a day to buy food. That was what the benefit was. And so these people are absolutely selfish and narcissistic, but it's the voters who are voting for them. I mean, the white rural MAGA voter is not rich. I mean, they are hand to mouth, but they've bought in that poor people are worse than they are. And it's mind blowing.
And so, if only we had a candidate right now that could go give this message and go further to the left and have a economic populist message that was a winning message that got all sorts of people under one big tent. I wonder if we had a candidate like that, how the Democratic establishment would respond. Play the clip.
If part of the issue with your party, do you think, is not embracing enough of the energy on the left flank of your party? You're seeing what's happening in your neighboring state in New York. Zoran Mamdani, he's the Democratic candidate, Democratic Socialist candidate there. Democratic leaders are not supporting him. Is that a problem? Do you support him?
So you and I are going to have this conversation, and I'm going to say to you one day, I told you so. This is not a left-right issue. It really isn't. It is an authoritarian versus people who want pragmatic government that makes a difference in the lives of American people. I'm one of these people that says the lines that divide us in America are not nearly as strong as the ties that bind us. Big corporations, people want to keep our eyes on the screen, want to pit us against each other and tell us how much we should hate each other. I'm sorry. The left-right lens is not the right lens to look at this right now. Right now it is, can we get back to the pragmatic work of governing?
About Mamdani, are you going to support him?
I have learned a long time ago, let New York politics be New York politics. We got enough challenges in Jersey. I got a governor's race. I'm supporting Mikey Sherrill. I got legislative races. That's where my energy is going to go going into November. New York City, I love you. You're my neighbor. You're about 10 miles from where I live.
Okay. He talks about this is an authoritarian versus everybody else, yet he votes to support an authoritarian regime, a fascist regime in Israel. And he thinks we're dumb. And that's the problem with the Democratic Party right now. He is every bit as beholden to special interest as Ted Cruz is. The only thing that has bipartisan support in the United States House and in the United States Senate right now is the support of Israel. And it just amazes me that we have this roadmap of Mamdani right in the heart of what's happening right now in real time with MAGA, the backlash, the blue tsunami. And they say, oh, it's anti-Semitic to support Mamdani. Well, guess what? Jewish New Yorkers voted majority for Mamdani. And it just amazes me that he is so beholden and he thinks his base is so goddamn stupid that we believe that. And I guess that they're all used to the MAGA base just being fed stuff and not critically thinking. But when I see Cory Booker saying stuff like that, I immediately think you're a hypocrite. Like, you care about brown kids in the United States getting deported, but you don't care about brown Palestinian kids getting killed with bullets that you voted to fund, with bombs that you voted to fund. You speak out against fascism, yet you support Benjamin Netanyahu and his fascist right-wing government. And I guess they think we're stupid. And so I think this is a massive problem in the Democratic Party right now, when you are not saying, absolutely, I support the will of the people in New York. It's an economic populist message. It reminds me of Bernie Sanders. And we need to take a big look at probably leaning into that way, because it feels like that is a microcosm of what will probably happen everywhere. And instead, it's just this bullshit spin, pivoting.
Well, and it's just a whole lot of mumbo jumbo political talk, when in reality, we need everybody to be coming out for, I'm all for pragmatic government, Cory Booker, but you need to put your money where your mouth is, and you need to start calling out the authoritarians around the world stop funding it, and damn sure start making a case for a populist Democratic message, because we only have about, what, 18 months?
He can't, because he's a corporate Democrat. That's the point. He is beholden. So he sits and he argues that, special interest and Citizens United was the worst thing ever. Well, yeah, but you've taken $1 million from AIPAC, Corey. And you can't support Mamdani because Mamdani is AIPAC's worst nightmare. But let me just tell you who he ends up. This is what's going on with the United States foreign policy right now. And so you end up having corporate Democrats that vote the same way as fanatics like this. And I just want to play this clip of Moses Mike Johnson's foreign policy.
Mike Johnson, the 56th Speaker of the House of Representatives in America. We're here with a delegation of members of the House. We're so grateful to be in Israel, particularly on this day, recognizing the destruction of the two temples and 2 times in history. But it is such a moving time for us to be here at the Wailing Wall. We've offered our prayers. We put our notes into the wall as just traditional. And we're so moved by the hospitality of the people and the great love of Israel. Our prayer is that America will always stand with Israel, and that we will we pray for the preservation and the peace of Jerusalem. That's what Scripture tells us to do. It's a matter of faith for us and a commitment that we have.
Okay, I want to remind you that Israel was founded in 1945, and so Scripture's reminding him to do this. This is not foreign policy. This is magical Iron Age thinking. This is fucking crazy. And then there's more pictures of like Sarah Huckabee Sanders over there. We have crazy Christian problem in the United States of America. And then the people that could save us from these fanatics, the Cory Bookers, are bought and paid for by the same people that exploit right-wing American Christians, because they can tell the right-wing American Christians, well, in order for Jesus to come back, the Jews need to be in Israel. And Mike Johnson believes that shit because he's a rapture prepper. And then you have the corporate Democrats voting with these same people. And the Israeli government is playing all of us. Right. And guess what, America? They have free health care. They have low-cost college education, and we fund it. We fund it. So if it is America first, MAGA, why is it always Israel first? That's all we have for today. Buy our book, Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. It's a great way to support us. We're almost to 1 million, so please subscribe.